Hi, welcome to Ski Talk, brought to you by skis.com. I'm Kevin. Today I'm joined by Nordica representative John Kirchhoff. Thanks for being here, John.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks, Kevin.
We're going to give you a quick rundown of an exciting new line of boots from Nordica this year, the TransFire series. John, I mean, this really takes the average skier to the next level of comfort and performance on the hill, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. It was born from the concepts that we launched last year in Fire Arrow of creating a modern boot that worked with today's modern skis. We've obviously grown the waist width story, we've grown the rocker stories, while we're still trying to put people in an old school boot that applies force from tip to tail. And virtually nobody is out there skiing tip to tail anymore. We're all skiing edge to edge with a lot less effort. And so TransFire is that perfect balance for the all-mountain skier looking for an all-mountain boot at whatever level they aspire to. Comfort at 102 millimeter last is absolutely right there. It's like your favorite pair of sneakers or whatever, skate shoes. It just wraps your foot. Part of the genius with the three-piece shell, three-buckle design is you don't have to be compressed like you used to be in your high-performance four-buckle boots, because we actually draw you back at a 45-degree instep right over the instep. So whether you have a low-volume foot, it'll drop to meet the shape of your foot. If you have a higher volume foot, it floats. Which again, it's got to be at 45.
Yeah.
It can't be at 30, can't be at 50. I mean, it wasn't 46, had to be right at 45 to give you the best security, best wrap.
Yeah, so that 45-degree buckle combined with that 102 millimeter last, you get the wiggle room in the toes that you like, so your toes aren't cramped, bunched, or whatever, they're free to move around, but you still get that solid heel hold. One of the other things I like about the three-piece shell, for your recreational skier, is the ease of entry and exit. I mean, that's huge.
I think back to the day when I used to almost throw my back out getting in and out of my boots from, whether it was warm or cold out. And this thing literally jump off the couch, drop right into this thing. You've got the fit stirrup that allows you easy access in and out. That floating tongue we just talked about. TransFire is a slam dunk out of the box.
For sure. We talked about the 45-degree angle. Something that's unique about this boot, too, is the PU boot board.
Yeah. There's a lot of different ways to actually put a boot board down into that well. Again, going after the all-mountain skier who gets up, they're on, one of the first people on the mountain, and they'll typically go out in almost any environment. Warmth. And warmth is a big challenge in ski boots. So we actually put a polyurethane boot board down into the well that gives just the right balance of power and comfort and insulate quality for all-day wrap.
Very good. Yeah, it keeps that buffer zone between the cold air and the snow and your foot, right?
Oh, it totally does. Then we put a gripped-out sole on here so you're not going to slip and crash walking across the parking lot, which is nice.
It's very nice.
Still fully DIN compatible, but you can see a really techie sole on this thing for hiking up to the lodge is a great setup.
Very nice. A unique feature on this boot, too, is the pivot point.
Yeah. Really challenging mechanical concepts here. That pivot point, the hinge point, too low, too far forward, you lose power, too far back. You almost have too much feedback. So we placed it right at the center here, which gives you the most lever and power over the boot with getting just the right amount of feedback from your skis. So whether you're at the top end of the TransFire collection or at the bottom, this boot is tuned just for you. The other cool thing is actually how we tune the spines of the boot. Inside there's something called a flex block. And in this particular boot, that flex block is a little more central and low. So the progression of the boot is really smooth. So if you're on moderate terrain, hitting the blue cruisers, you got some corduroy out there, this boot has a really smooth engagement into that power band. But as you start getting into the steeper terrain, it starts getting a little more gnarly or firm, this thing actually will increase its progression and flex and become stiffer and more responsive. So you've really got almost two levels of boots in one, which is nice.
You make a good point about the smooth transition of flex. So a lot of boots out there, it's like you hit a wall and then it's just like you can't quite get the full use of the range of motion of the boot. And with this, three-piece shell and the way that you guys put the hinge point and everything in the cuff, it just creates a really nice smooth flex, so you don't get the shin bang, and you can really take full advantage of the whole boot.
Yeah, it's a boot fitter's dream, just because of the way it wraps the foot, counters the foot, balances the skier out. The other thing is if you've got a lower volume leg and foot shape, this boot's tunable for you as well through the adjustable cuff profile. Quite commonly, that person that grabs a pair of boots out of the box and just gets crammed in there because they've got a lower, larger leg shape, really is challenged for two fronts. One is comfort. So we've actually built, again, a mechanical adjustment in here that allows this to open up. When this thing opens up, not only does it give you more volume, but it also gives you the right stance. So if you're totally cranked forward in your boots all day long, your legs are wasted.
This puts a lot of strain on.
By lunch, your quads are just caked. So we've actually done by opening this thing up is it gives that skier the right stance that you and I have in our boots that are totally custom and dialed. That person's got the same benefit, which is really cool.
Warmth, comfort too, because you're not cutting off circulation.
Yeah, absolutely. This thing's the full package.
All right. So we've got 4 different models of TransFire boots here, right?
Yep.
That cover the range from your intermediate level up to your advanced level skier.
Yeah, it goes R1, R2, R3, and R4. If you're an R1 skier, you can pretty much rip anything on the mountain. You might not, jump off a cornice or drop into some chute or couloir, but you'll ski anything else. And it obviously, as we come down from that R1 to the R2, 3, and 4, we're basically just detuning the power. You're not going to have to work as hard to flex the boot. It's not going to have quite as much of a positive feedback. We also soften up the liner densities. So the R1 is a very responsive, very precise, high-performance liner.
Sure.
We drop into that precision-based liner for the R2s and 3s, and we get down to the R4, it's a comfort liner. That person's out there for as much the social aspects as the performance of skiing.
Nice. So we've got a great collection of boots here in the TransFire series. If you're an all-mountain skier looking to take your level of skiing to the next level, definitely check it out. I'm Kevin. This is John. Thanks for joining us today on Ski Talk, brought to you by skis.com.